Hello, friends. Good see you. My name is Firdaus Sheikh, your host for this evening. I'm Senior Manager of Swiss Education Foundation, an exclusive platform to promote Switzerland as a study destination. This is our 18th talk show and broadcasted live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Every alternate Friday, we aim to bring in the eminent speakers to discuss the topic that will help you explore this beautiful country, which has been the favorite destination for Bollywood shootings, family vacations, and definitely for education. Those who are listening to us for the first time, we are Swiss Education, India's single largest platform offering hospitality, business, and culinary programs at elite and top ranked colleges at Switzerland. Our students have been awarded a total scholarship of rupees 7.30 crore to study in Switzerland. Isn't it amazing? We offer airport to airport service and leaves nothing to chance. So, well, let's move on to our today's topic, that is, explore the successful journey of a hospitality leader. To discuss this exciting subject, we have with us our today's guest, Professor Vimal Shukla. So, let's welcome Professor Vimal. Hi, Professor.
Hello,
I
hello.
welcome you to this session today. And without wasting too much of time, I would quickly want to give a small background, a small brief about Professor Vimal. He began his career in 2002 and has worked in hospitality operations at various levels in India and abroad. Worked with hotel properties such as Leela, Taj Hotels, McDonald's, Sarovar Hotels, Marriott USA, and many more. Worked with the reputed Taj Institute of Hotel Management Aurangabad for over a decade and then joined Oro University Surat. And since 2011, he has been working with this team. He has been handling and superheading the development of the School of Hospitality Management here. He holds a bachelor's degree from Institute of IIHM, Ahmedabad. Bachelor's. He has also done a bachelor's in commerce from Mumbai University. Again, he also holds a master's degree in international hospitality management from Sheffield Hallam University, UK, and MBA from Sikkim Manipal University. Pursuing his interest in training and HR, he has earned the diploma in training from Indian Society for Training and Development. Currently, he is also pursuing a PhD in management from Pacific University, Udaipur, and wishes to complete it soon. So, a lot of, I would say, achievements, a lot of background what Mr. Shukla has. So, Shukla has also been an expert in expert committees at Oro University and has been liaising with partner hotels in Surat, Marriott Surat, and Courtyard by Marriott in Surat. He has published over 25 articles in reputed national journals in diverse fields. He has also initiated several programs such as World Tourism Day, World Food Day, World Pasta Day, and lastly, the National Budding Chef Competition in Oro University. Mr. Shukla is highly responsible for orchestrating and executing several themed dinners at the institution too. For the last 18 years, he has been contributing to the industry through his operations, academia, research, and training. So, to all our viewers, if you have any questions or comment, please feel free to write in the comment section and we will try to address as we progress. So, let's begin the session. Switzerland. Switzerland is a landlocked country of towering mountains, deep alpine lakes, grassy valleys dotted with neat farms and small villages and thriving cities that blend the old and the new. Switzerland is the nexus of the diverse physical and cultural geography of Western Europe, renowned for both its natural beauty and its way of life. So, moving further, I would quickly want to go to my first question for Professor Shukla. What is hospitality and tourism management? What do students learn from it? So, can you please help us understand more about this industry? So,
Thank you, Firdaus. And welcome everyone, whoever is listening to us. Hospitality and tourism are very broad and separate fields. Tourism is mostly concerned with travel, tourism, and exploring a new destination, whereas hospitality is concerned with providing basic facilities, food, accommodation, and so on, and taking care of the guest. Coming from India, Atithi Devo Bhava has always been an ideology, and it's somewhere built in our DNA also, and that's why the foreign tourists and the foreign guests are always appreciative of that. This is also true for various other cultures and various other countries also, and this is one thing which is ever growing. It's also the second oldest employment source, and it's also the ever growing source.
absolutely, absolutely. Being such a old, I would say, tradition and old education in the system, hospitality has its deep root. To know more about it, I would also want to understand how it is different from learning, other streams such as commerce or management related courses. How does it relates to the business in that way?
It is a very, very contemporary and very, very different field. It's not your usual conventional streams that you will come across. So similarly, the pedagogy and the learning style is also very, very different. There's a very good blend of theory and practical exposure, along with a lot of other industry seminars, workshops, field trips, visits that you can get. So that will be a very, very good thing to do. So if you were to talk about Switzerland, the dairy industry, the chocolate industry that they can visit, the cheese industry will be a very good experiential learning source for them.
Absolutely, absolutely. So how was your experience as a student while studying hospitality here in India? And of course, you've also done a master's in abroad in UK. So how was your experience both here in India and abroad?
It was very good coming from a bachelor's in commerce background. I went into hotel management, and it was a very, very new field, and there were a lot of full of surprises, and I like to call it as an adventure trip. So it's been very good, but definitely I found my calling there. So the best thing was I found my calling, I found my passion, I found my interest there, and it's been very supportive since then. But there was a huge contrast in the Indian scenario and the international scenario. The expectations, the learning style is very, very different when you go to an international style. And I think that has been more supportive and useful for me when I have now become a faculty member. Because the kind of wholesome and holistic learning that you get there is probably somehow, I think, still not be completely met in the Indian scenario. Yes.
Absolutely. So it means that you're trying to say that, in terms of getting an exposure in abroad, gives you more of a 360-degree exposure with more of international culture, with more of international mix to it, correct?
Yes, absolutely. And overall, the one thing that it does is builds your confidence. It adds a lot of value to your personality. And definitely, when you are in a multicultural society, so you are also meeting with a lot of people, and then also learning the best that is happening around the world. So you're not focused on one particular industry. You're not focused on one particular geographic location. You are talking about the global scenario. So, to give you a specific example, in Indian class context, most of the learning that I had gone through was happening through particular setup, from the Indian thing, from our local area. But then when I went abroad, it was done from a very, very, very diversified global platform kind of thing, covering a lot of industries, a lot of geographic locations. So we were also introduced to the best geographic locations in terms of hotels, resorts, tourist areas, right from your east to the west. And it was a very, very good thing for us to learn.
That's interesting. That's really nice. So I think this kind of an a multi-cultural exposure, along with a very global exposure, is something that students and parents should definitely look at while considering hospitality management as a specialization or as a dream to study in. So my next question to you is: what kind of career can a student expect through hospitality and tourism?
I like to call it in two sets. One is the traditional. So in the traditional ones, you will definitely have is the different ranks in the hotel, the different departments, the manager positions. So basically, I call it the entry level, the manager level, supervisory level manager positions, and so on and so forth. And then, as they usually say, it may sound a cliche, but the sky is the limit for the growth and the development that an individual wants to have in his career. The second thing is these are all conventional options. Now you talk about the contemporary options, the disruptive practices that have come up, and those are very, very new. So if you talk about like being a blogger, that's something that's come up. So if you talk about being a food photographer, that's a new option that's come up. If you talk about being a consultant in a restaurant. Yes, that's also a very new option that's come up. And a lot of people I know who are into very very niche fields, like who chefs I know who are only catering exclusive meals to the celebrities and all that stuff, taking care of their nutritional requirements. So believe me,
Absolutely.
it's very much up to an individual what he or she wants to design and what he wants to make for himself for his long term career.
Absolutely, absolutely. I completely agree, sir. So, in terms of the career opportunity, I think it's very diversified. It's in the student's hand as to what the student is looking up to. So, the career options could also range. Please pardon me if I'm wrong. The career options could also range apart from hotels, if I'm not mistaken. Correct, sir?
So yes, yes, absolutely.
Absolutely,
Hospitality is a much diversified field, and
absolutely.
there are events, there are various other things coming up. India is also being, there are a lot of trial projects coming up for cruise and various other
You're
things.
right, sir.
So the landscape of hospitality and tourism is already undergoing a lot of changes, and it will definitely have its own developments coming in the future
Okay.
in the Indian context also, and definitely in the global context.
Yes. So, my next question goes to you with related to your experience, sir. So, how was your experience studying in UK? And does studying abroad specifically really help students? Can you take us through your journey, sir?
Okay. I just want to ask, or I just want to tell people that you must be in the age of 20, 25, or 22 or something around that age. And if you look at that, you have to work or be in career life, professional life till 16. So just do a subtraction thing, and you will see that 35 to 40 years is what you have to. And in order to build your career and have a good graph or a timeline, you need to really invest in yourself. And this is
Okay.
exactly the reason why I chose to go abroad and spend some time to also gather that kind of information and knowledge. To tell you about my experience, it's been very very good. The kind of infrastructure, the kind of facilities that you find in a full-fledged university or an institute in the international land is very very different from what you would traditionally find in the Indian scenario. In the Indian scenario, it's also okay to have institution with very basic or less student related or recreational facilities. But there it was a very, very, very different thing. You had a full student alumni body, you had a full student recreational center, you had a full learning resource center, which was called as a library. And the classes and everything was very, very well managed and systematically driven so that your learning could be facilitated. And it was very promptly and very very beautifully taken care for each one of us. Coming from a very traditional setup, I was also slowly introduced and offered all kinds of help from the learning resource center. If I wanted to know about plagiarism, study skills, how do we make a good presentation, what are the things, various other things that are required, which are supplementary to your learning, which are supplementary to the projects and submissions that you have to make. So I think that is what helped me groom myself and make myself more readily available for not only the hospitality field but the industry as well, as a true profession, complete
Very,
profession.
very rightly said. Very rightly said. I completely agree and appreciate that. You as an individual is what that, once you go abroad and you study, is the first thing that, the universities work with you. It's more of, I would say, your personality. It's more of the confidence level that you work upon because you're working and you're studying there independently. You don't have anybody here who is going to sit back with you and, help you to do your studies and spoon feed you. So I think this is something which is very important for students and parents who are listening out to us, that if you are really looking out to groom your child and to build up his confidence and have him the apt life skills that is required, I think this is the best stage at an age wherein the student is wanting to study and at the same time also wanting to get into the industry what he's looking out for. So, my next question to you, sir, is how's the employment opportunities for hospitality graduates in India and abroad? So first, if we could talk or speak specifically about in India, and then talk about abroad.
Okay. As you will all know that hospitality and tourism is a very basic fundamental field. It's and it is very elementary to any society and any community. So the opportunities that lie for employment are immense, and there are various levels to it. The right from the basic level to the supervisory level to the manager's level, and there's also some levels of experience like any other field you have to put behind yourself to attain the position that you would definitely dream of. But if you have the right set of skills, knowledge, and experience put together, you are a perfect combination. This is something that I can definitely tell you and vouch for it. I'm sorry. Another thing is from an international standpoint, the opportunities are more immense, and just excuse me. Because I also worked in a couple of countries, so I can tell you the population ratios are much lesser as compared to the opportunities that are available, and some countries are purely tourism based economies. So the opportunities also get multiplied, and they become more and bigger. But it's very much up to the aptitude and the attitude of an individual to carve a career and make himself successful in this field. One ingredient that I definitely want each one of you to carry with you if you want to make a life and a career in this is passion. Love what you do, and you will definitely find the fruits coming from that. You will be well rewarded, not only as a satisfaction, but you will also see the growth in you in the years to come.
Absolutely. So I completely agree. A very strong takeaway in that way. If you see, it's more about the passion that that carves your future, that talks or mold you in what you want to. So I think let it be India or let it be abroad. So it's eventually as a student, if a student has that passion to get into this industry, then I think the world would be all at his palm. Like he could go around and he could have a global exposure. So, sir, if you could help
Yes.
us understand more about the current trends, because nowadays, post COVID and during COVID, I think hospitality being one of the industry. Apart from there are many other. In fact, all the industries got a very bad hit due to COVID. So, how is the current trend about hospitality industry and in terms of the opportunities for students?
Okay. There are a couple of terms that have come from the COVID situation. I think we all would be very familiar with the normal, the new normal, and various such things. So there's also a very famous term that's doing the rounds. It's called revenge tourism. And then there is various other ones like staycations, and these are all they have all taken place because of the corona. So in a way, the pandemic has also been very useful in coming up with new sectors, new opportunities, and new categories of customers, which we are seeing. But I agree with you, Firdaus, and definitely there was a time which saw a low. But I think that's bound to happen with any other field, and in business also it's bound to happen. And I think what it has now done is it has definitely made a special place in the hearts of people. So when the pandemic and the restrictions were lifted, the first thing that everybody wanted to do was to venture outside, to go outside, to travel, to explore, to see new places, to click photographs, to be seen at such events, activities. The social gatherings, our weddings have now become bigger and bigger. We are not restricting ourselves, and we haven't actually gone back to the older fashion of keeping it to 100 people or 200 people. So automatically it was bound to happen. It was a temporary phase that came in, and people have again gone back to what they wanted to do and what they usually want to do. And believe me, the industry is also saying the recruitment has also become bigger, and the demand from the people has also become bigger. And that's why you would see new hotels coming up, new restaurants being opened,
You're right.
new clubs coming up, new cruise liners being launched. So before COVID, there was only one cruise liner which was launched, and that was Plethora.
Yes, sir. So you were saying about before COVID, how was it?
Yes. Uh, After COVID, it's definitely going to bounce back and it has come back in bigger numbers. So, in terms of the new hotels, new projects that we are seeing, it's again try to, rebuild and revive the industry. And everybody's part of it. The stakeholders, the customers, the guests who want to come, people who wish to travel, people who wish to visit and, have bigger participation in destination weddings and all that stuff. So the whole society and community is making its contributions to make this happen. And I think we were all also personally missing this. And and as I've mentioned this earlier also, it is something that's a very, very important part of our lives, personal lives, professional lives also. And as I said, if you can do something that you love, why not make that a career out of it?
Absolutely, absolutely. I completely agree. So, thank you, sir. This was really an interesting, I would say, point to take away from you. My another last question to you would be a tip of advice, that you would want to give to our listeners out there. So, from your side, a tip of
Okay,
advice from your end.
regarding this field or just in
Absolutely, sir.
general.
Regarding being a successful, leader in any field, maybe.
Okay, I would. One thing that I keep telling to my students also is never give in and never give up. So keep chasing your dreams and believe in your dreams.
Very true.
When many times when we are not able to connect the dots, we can't see the bigger picture. But believe me, if you put in, as I mentioned, put in your hard work, put in your knowledge, put in your skills under your belt, definitely, you can achieve a lot. And now at this stage, just as we say, the world has become one market. You have also become a global citizen. the,
Absolutely.
the, the boundaries don't longer exist. So, a lot of students I know are venturing outside for further studies. Why not try the best of all the worlds? So
Absolutely.
use that option also that's available, and invest in yourself, build your
Ab-
brand, and definitely that's going to last you for your career life. That's my
That's
closing remarks and thoughts.
that's a very amazing piece of advice from your end. Thank you very much, Professor Vimal. I thank you for joining us for the show today and sharing such an insightful information. Thank you for joining me today, the viewers
It
out
was
there, on the
it was my
successful
pleasure.
topic of explore the successful journey of a hospitality leader. If any of our listeners seek further information on study in Switzerland, please feel free to connect us on our helpline number 8879942001 or visit our website swisseducation.com. Our experienced counselors will be happy to assist you instantly. My name is Firdaus Sheikh, Senior Manager from Swiss Education Foundation, signing off with the promise to come back again on 20th May, sharp at 5 p.m., with another guest speaking on an interesting educational topic. Until then, think Switzerland, think Swiss education. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you so
Professor.
much,
Thank you
Firdaus.
very much for your
Thank you.
valuable input.
Thank you,
I'll
Firdaus. It was a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.